What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? You know what time it is. Episode 75 in the mix, big baby. We got a special one. You know what time it is. We got the ThugBirdz on the podcast. Shout out to OX Thug. And before we get started, you know what time it is. If you got yourself an iPhone and or an Android, do yourself a favor. Download the FTX app. Stay up to date with the latest cryptocurrencies and NFTs. I am your host, Gaddis TV. What's going on, y'all? And let's get to it. All right, and we are live and direct. So first off, Thug, Mr. ThugBird, thank you for coming on, taking some time out of your kind of evening right now. And talking a little bit about the project, kind of what's going on, and just a little bit about the the experience of ThugBird. So appreciate that, and shout out to you for that.
Awesome. Thanks, Gaddis, for having me on the podcast again. It's been a while.
It's been a minute, and thank you for allowing me to have the podcast. So right back at you. A lot of people that of course will be tuning in general. A lot of people will know ThugBirdz from one way or another. Quick background on kind of when did ThugBirdz start? How did it start? And basically, what are you doing now? Where you're at?
Yeah, so ThugBirdz started officially. The idea started on the 25th of July last year. Project launched officially on the 28th of August. So in 5 days, that'll be exactly 6 months since our launch. Yeah, it's been, you've been around since day one. It's been crazy journey, a lot of learning. My life has completely changed, so has the lives of a lot of other people, which is cool. And yeah, obviously times right now are difficult on a global level. Just want to say, whatever things you're dealing with NFTs and crypto and money and whatever, it's just there's war going down, right? We got to think about people in our community who are out in Ukraine. I don't know if you like to pray for them, but whatever you do, just think about them, because it just puts things into perspective a little bit. But yeah, right now, yeah, we're still busy with a lot of changes coming to ThugBirdz. Yeah, basically the last couple of days, a lot has come to. A lot of people have come up with a lot of problems and suggestions and stuff, and so right now it's just essentially navigating the way that things have been operating, improving it, getting the community more involved, shipping the things that we've been working on and that we've been planning and stuff, and taking ThugBirdz to a next level, right? Best time to work into a project or to build is at the bottom, right? In the bearish time, that's when a lot of weak teams and weak communities will get shaken out, right, and die. And if we can just kind of come together as a community and a team of a development team, then I think it's going to be a cool next 6 months to a year at least.
Nice.
Yeah.
But before we get, because of course I put on Twitter earlier a lot of questions from the community, stuff like that. So if you're just now tuning in, give me a quick damn second. We'll get to it. You know what I mean? I got you.
I'll take it easy.
No, not you. I'm talking about the people who are watching, because they might be like, "Yo, what's going on? We need it now." Nah, chilling. We will get to it.
I've got time, dude. We can talk.
You got time. You heard it. So honestly, we should be able to get everything answered. I kind of asked you before, because I was telling you as well, I don't want it just to be a question firing off on you on stuff like that. It's more of chill and then get the information as well. 100%.
I agree.
So with basically I was asking before, the project, when you first started to seeing it now, because I assist with a lot of projects that do come on. You know what I mean? What what advice would you give yourself? The 6 months ago when you first started and was thinking about it, knowing a lot of the stuff that you know now. What are some of those things you look back and wish, damn, I wish I knew X, Y, and Z.
That's a good that's a good question. Never been asked that before. I guess, in hindsight, it's very easy to see the connections. Looking forward, it's kind of impossible. So this is a
Mm.
very kind of fantasy situation, but I guess ideally, a lot of problems have surfaced purely because of like the kind of chaotic nature of how this project even started. Like, it was for those who were there, in the early days, it was kind of scrappy, and we had a failed launch and like a lot of FUD and a lot of negative stuff from influential people like on Twitter, like, flooding us saying whatever, this is a rug, this is ThugBirdz, all of this shit. And it's like those times the community came together and like just like didn't care about the FUD or about anything. And I feel like a large part of the community, is like that. So um yeah, but I guess
The
what I would have changed is like, okay, this chaotic community that kind of just formed organically and really drove this a lot of value to this project organically. Um, Once that stopped, that's when, like the NFT kind of bearish time came around and people didn't feel like participating much, anymore. During that initial crash, I should have been quick to be like, okay, what do we need? Like, how do we restructure and reorganize this organization? Get more of the project like in control, like put more of the project's, like things in control of the community, like things that they're doing. And to some extent, I did try that, just not in a really structured way. And that's why a lot of the stuff have kind of fallen through the cracks or um, not been delivered effectively. But essentially, yeah, it's just like a problem of like structuring, organization. Um, I know we've been saying this for long, but like things change. So it's
no,
a
for sure.
really, it's a really tricky thing to say. But I would say, yeah, I would have focused on starting this process earlier that we're going through now. That we've been going through since the start of the year, since like Sosa and like whatever, since about that time, I guess we've started thinking like heavily about okay restructuring, but it's very tough. So it's a lot of making mistakes, trying to fix it. But I'm positive, like insanely positive about where we are. I mean, it takes a while for you to get to know like people like you're working with and relationships and all of these things, and it's just process that a lot of startups go through when they're trying to like scale through this initial kind of hacking phase of development. And, as long as we keep trying, I think we're on the verge of just like getting a lot of these problems that are not big, just simple transparency and communication, just getting that fixed and then getting the DAO more like DAO, right? Doing some voting, having some tokens, and then uh, to essentially just keep on iterating on your development of the project. Just don't give up. As long as we don't give up, we'll never rug, right? So
For
both
sure.
both the community and the development side of a project. If either one of those things gives up, then the project rugs. So as long as we have both of these things still on the same team and still or even effectively working together, which is mission, then things start becoming a lot easier, a lot more. A lot of these problems start going away. So yeah, so I would
No,
go back and start it earlier.
started with the um, I guess the you kind of mentioned, I guess, with the communication part of it. What because of course it's easy to say, hey, you get better stuff like that. But I mean, you kind of said as well, it's like a startup. It doesn't matter if it's NFT like it is ThugBirdz or a different one. It's just like a startup company. You know what I mean? Even just from the look out from the outsides, just in because, I mean, even like you said, I mean, you I guess you create the NFT, and I think like this as well in the essence of like you created you got a lot of money, you had created a lot of money for ThugBirdz stuff like that. Like to an extent, you gotta trust the people, the team. You know what I mean? And it does take time. You know what I mean? Because you can't just be like, hey, Gaddis, I trust you. Here's X, Y, and Z things. Because granted, I am a good person, but at the same time, I could say I'm a good person and something else happened. You know what I mean? So, like things like that. Of course, that all day has to take time because you don't want to have again the stuff that can be up there and then just crash it down on there. So I mean, I'm sure a lot of people understand that one. With the kind of just stuff with because I'm still interested on the Hacker House. And I remember the first time you ever came on, there's no camera. The only person that was on camera was me and P Doc. Shout out P Doc.
Shout out P-Dog.
What made you, I guess, come to the States, get everything started going with all the Hacker Houses, stuff like that?
Yes.
And then as just a personal question, how was that feeling? Was that a whole bunch of anxiety before leaving? Like, is this the first time out of the States? How did that process start?
Yeah. So a large part of my thinking about ThugBirdz has always been IRL, right? And like part of that includes like going to these conferences and interacting with the ecosystem on a much more personal level. So like for instance, before coming to the States, I would have like a couple of people, maybe like 2 or 3 Solana people or devs that I could contact, or maybe like someone from a protocol that I knew. But now I know everyone, so it's kind of it's been amazing because I know like all the Solana Labs people and like the met a lot of like the venture capital people that are in the ecosystem. Met a lot of one-on-one artists. A lot of them, a lot of people from our community. Met like a lot of musicians and like producers and stuff. When specifically the Play Hacker House for me was really valuable. ThugBirdz, we have this the part of the brand that we're trying to like put together is like have it be have like a cultural significance in the real world, right? And that includes like the niche that we're kind of targeting in that space is like the media and entertainment industry, and that's like in Los Angeles, right? A lot of the hip hop like producers and stuff or like managers and stuff are out there. There's other places as well, like Atlanta is really big. I think Los Angeles has been really valuable. I'm spending only a couple of days there, so I'll be like actually like moving there for like
Nice.
until the end of summer. Like for ThugBirdz, right? Like I'll be close to where all the action's going down, and like I've got a ton of great contacts there. So that's really gonna be where like I'm gonna try and put ThugBirdz into like the mainstream. Uh, we've already made some progress on this. Yeah, but in terms of being nervous, I wasn't nervous. I couldn't leave my country. I'm from South Africa, so I couldn't leave for the 26th of December.
Mm-hmm.
On the 26th, travel restrictions lifted, and that day I booked like my flights because I was like, I have to go. I have to go. Like, there's not much going down like where I am. I'm just on the internet. I'm just on my computer all day, and these real life connections are way more valuable. It's like you form actual trust and real relationships with people where, it's a lot more solid than just interacting with a random avatar on Twitter. Yeah, it's been really cool, man. And I think it's probably, as I said in one of the announcements, probably the highest value like hour thing that I could have been doing in during those weeks that I was there. Um, it's just been amazing. So a lot of new opportunities coming from my time being spent here, and a lot of good like amazing things have come from it. So yeah, it's been great.
Nice, man. And I'm sure a lot of people honestly appreciate you, one, doing what you're doing now, honestly, and just going to the hacker house and stuff like that. And honestly, the little stuff like coming on camera as well. Um, Especially with just I don't know, there's always rugs and everything like that. And honestly, I just feel I like it. A lot of people that
Yeah,
even come on our podcast, bro, like they don't have cameras on. It's not a bad thing, of course. You know what I mean? It's crypto centralized, everything like that. But
yeah,
at the same time, I mean, I guess it's not financial advice on that. A lot of people that have a camera on camera, like they seem legit. You know what I mean? So shit like that is the little
yeah,
things make the big picture. Um,
yeah.
with
I've got nothing to hide. It's just like I put myself out there because I know it's important for ThugBirdz. Like we need to be in conversation and like relevant at these spaces because other NFT projects are doing it, and it's only a very small amount. It's like DJN Apes, the SMBs, and ThugBirdz are present at these spaces and featuring and like throwing events and stuff. And I believe this is long term, like value that long term type of stuff that adds to the ecosystem, and it's part of all three of these projects are building their brands in their own unique way. And I think there's a lot of room for all three of them to work together and grow and develop the whole ecosystem. There's no real competition, I believe. We're still so early in terms of the amount of liquidity on the market that if we can all help each other and kind of have our own space to do what we do our best, then I think that's overall good for the space. I think a lot of projects launching now is just like uh, copies or derivatives or whatever of the same concept or the same idea with like a different twist, and it's cool, and some of it works. A lot of them will eventually develop and turn themselves into like established long-term projects. But a lot of them will also just never make it out of the NFT art like kind of scene. And really, in terms of long-term survival of a project, I think it's really like imperative that move beyond just NFTs and like the crypto space. Like if you can build a brand into the real world, that suddenly becomes a lot more tangible value. Because a lot of this,
what do
like right
you
now, Solana's at like $78, right? So
yeah.
the value of all our NFTs is like plummeting. It's like, uh, it's crazy. So I don't know. I mean, it's kind of crazy speculative thing we're all involved in here, and so kind of got to use the opportunity if you have some brand recognition and base of a brand and a community, kind of have to use that to the full advantage and put that into the real world and create like a real business around that. So yeah.
I was gonna say with the you were talking about you kind of the developing and stuff like that. Because I mean you're a coder. I'm definitely not a coder by any means. You know what I mean? When you mean stuff like that, I guess what do you? I guess what do you mean? Like what do you want to see? I guess be done on overall Solana, not exactly just ThugBirdz. You know what I mean? But like what do you what gets you hype as a I guess developer, just person on Solana?
Um, yeah, like I don't know. I think Solana, just the ecosystem in general, kind of in a weird space right now. It's a lot of toxicity and stuff that's been going down. Um, Compared to Ethereum, we're still pretty insignificant, like in terms of market cap and this type of thing. It's a very small ecosystem that we're dealing with, and there's a lot of just liquidity swirling around in circles, just like so. But what I do like is like these hacker houses just show you. There's people just like sitting, not like they're sitting and building real things, and that's the stuff that really excites me. One in particular is just came out recently is Solana Pay. Like I've been using it over here. The Mountain DAO, like you can buy shit from the like shop with it, with a little like a iOS app that another guy's built, TJ. And that's awesome. And I think like stuff like that's just like what's eventually gonna be how you can pay for, like your streaming service or your like your online shopping or like your Shopify, like all of this stuff, like already going to be integrated into like Brave web browser, right? I'm really excited about like these developments coming from the real builders. There's also interesting protocols coming around, specifically NFT protocols. Like, there's one Cardinal. I met the guys in one of the hacker houses, and they're like really working on some interesting stuff that involves NFTs and stuff, and that'll be super applicable for like event ticketing and all of these things like expirable NFTs and rentable stuff. It's just like there's a lot of what people are experimenting with now are going to be super huge innovations that like entire systems are going to be running on in the future. So it's just really exciting time to be around the people building the space at the moment.
Nice. And I'm pretty sure, I can't remember if it was like live. I'm pretty sure it was live because we had Mountain down here as well. And I think they said like that night they like just finished up that. So it's one kind of cool to see that. I guess you've used that as well, just because of course you're traveling for the hacker houses, but it's cool to just personally be like, hey, I was talking to the people on Mountain DAO. They said they were getting those things done, and then y'all are still using it. And of course, I think it was someone from the Senate. I could be wrong, from Utah, but when they bought something as well. So over that's dope. The state of Utah knows kind of shit that's going on. So that's what's up on that. I guess before we get to the questions and things like that, with being a we call it blue chip, you know what I mean? Because I guess over where we are, and don't want to jinx it and sound cliche or nothing, but how and was there a different, not structure, but a different mindset you had going in there, like when you first started compared to now, as far as like brand goes? Because I know, I mean, basically want to be the nice community like on Solana, things like that. But when you first started it up, and when it's still at minting price, and you're thinking, hey, I want to be, or I want it to be X, Y, and Z. How has that changed a lot from start to now in the 6 months? Because again, a whole bunch of things always change. How and is that different from when you first started it?
You're saying how is the space different from like when we started to what it is now?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess with the with the brand of ThugBirdz, has that, not the brand, but has it changed in the sense of like, I guess just the directory of where you personally wanted to go, or is it still kind of where you wanted to go? Of course, they got hiccups, road bumps along the line of ways, or is it still going on how you envision it?
It's still, I mean, the vision for me is still pretty clear. It's like you want to be, you can't try everything in NFTs or in just general. Like you can't simultaneously be just like a cool profile pic with like the culture and the community, and then on top of that you build like the whole staking like thing and like tokenomics, and like you can try all of these things, but I think it's like cool to focus on a niche that is like your thing, and the community vibes with that, and you build value around that specific like
The
angle.
mic is going in a little bit in and out.
Mic's going in and out.
It might be just on me on that one, but
maybe. Let me know if is this okay still.
Yeah, you're good on that one. I know you were basically just talking about like the niches and everything like that that's going on, which is just a thing.
Yeah. So what I really have always, like, not always, but after the project launched, what became clear is like, oh, we really have like this cultural aspect to the project, and artistically, like it's always kind of been a natural fit for the artists and the thugs. And it's still true. Like we have all the great one-of-one artists love, are part of ThugBirdz and have joined the community because they want to be part of like, some, a project that appreciates a bit more like the artistic side of the space. And personally, like the one-on-one art scene, like I've tried to really use ThugBirdz as a way to push that, and we'll be like doing a lot of that stuff coming pretty soon. So the vision has been like the same since the start. I would say like, plans change though. Things go certain ways, and things are super unpredictable in the space in particular. Like you can try and plan out for 6 months or a year, but it's really tough to even predict beyond 2 weeks. And I even saw like Anatoly tweeting about that. It's like 2 weeks pretty much at a time. Like otherwise it's really tough to hold yourself to dates and like schedules and stuff because things really are changing. Especially at the Hacker House. It's like, yeah, have like always there's a plan, but then the plans change or they get like improved because there's potentially something better we could do or something that's more unique and more original. So I mean, that's just it, man. It's just like execution right now is finally like gonna be starting to roll out, and yeah, I guess this is really
No, for
gonna be
sure.
like the place where we like start start implementing the vision that's kind of been around since day one. So yeah, I would say the brand is still very focused on like being culturally significant in the mainstream. We want to have like the coolest rappers and stuff uh, wearing like ThugBirdz like streetwear stuff, and do cool shit like throw cool events in real life. Maybe one day have like a space where we invite ThugBirdz to come. Like let's go somewhere for like a ThugBirdz meetup one weekend. We plan like some location or something like this Hacker House. It's like super cool, and you can have people potentially like a core part of a DAO or something meeting up and working together in real life at some point or something like that. Just like a lot of yeah,
This team, no, 100% on that.
yeah,
I mean, I mean, that's what I was thinking as well. Because shoot, I guess my real, I guess IRL friends and the people that know me, they always know I'm, devil angel on both sides in the sense of, I see both good and bad and that stuff. You know what I mean? But like I see how like again like from the outside perspective, because even though I do the podcast, I mean, I don't know any of like the inside stuff, anything like that. I just happen to run the podcast and ask y'all if I could do it, and y'all say yeah.
yeah,
So like honestly, I was I was just thinking earlier. I'm like, it'd be the same thing if you're going to like a regular work job. You know what I mean? And you got an ambulance coming, and you got to stop in the ambulance, and now you're in trouble or mad because you're 5 minutes late or 6 minutes late. It's like, well, what the hell you want me to do? If something happens, like you keep going, you're gonna hit the the ambulance, and you're not gonna be there anyways. You know what I mean? So it's always
yeah. I guess
being smooth is the way
yeah.
to go.
I guess the main thing about that is like uh, what should just be fixed is like transparency about like okay things can be rearranged or changed or still be decided upon. And it's like but at least everyone knows that that's still being decided upon rather than just like obfuscating or like at least just not even sharing any information and just keeping people uninformed. I think that's a lot of what's just like small thing, right? But it's something that I'm going to be hammering down on in like the next. I'll be traveling for the next kind of 48 hours, but in that time I'll be uh, putting a lot of effort into like how we're actually gonna like structure. a lot of this stuff in a much better way in terms of like transparency, communication with the DAO, potentially formation of a DAO. A lot of good DAO contacts I have now. People that have been building out DAOs on Solana and Ethereum. So, I'm kind of, yeah, it's like a lot of these improvements are just kind of trivial things to fix. They'll just make everyone much more informed and much happier to be like involved with the project, and that'll remove a lot of the negativity. I wouldn't call it toxicity. I mean, there's always good to receive some level of criticism or FUD or whatever. It's healthy. It's like a fire kind of burning down a field, right? Like it grows back green after some point. You just need to sometimes get like things sorted out. And these opportunities, these bearish times really are great times to be talking about this stuff. So I'm really happy that people care enough to be like reaching out and giving advice and giving all these suggestions and questions that we're going to be going through. Because it's like, we're all like we're all on the same team, right? I want to answer all the questions. I want to have everyone be informed about what we're doing. Some things we can't talk about because it's like it's not like 100% confirmed, or it's like just a handshake kind of deal, or it's just like a lot of the stuff we just want to surprise people with, to be honest. Like I've made a habit since the start of like being like liking to announce things, and I've just realized like I'm just gonna stop doing that. Announcing what's coming or like trying to hype anything up. Just gonna start being like chill and just like give people things that we make and like partnerships and just
let them know.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to the question, because even on mine now, I got people yelling at me saying, "Come on, guy with the cap! Like, yo, ask the questions, my guy. Like, I'm here. I see you, big dog. I was telling y'all before, it's not a fucking ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, now live. We're just chilling. And listen, we got a whole bunch of questions, and we'll be answering them. So, crypto, I got you, big dog. We good.
When, guys,
when men. That shit's already happened, bro.
Like guys, like there's a war going on outside.
Literally, unfortunately, actually.
And not like a mob deep lyric.
I almost
something like
kind
that.
of felt honestly bad going live because everything, but then I was also like, everyone's gonna fucking be unfortunately bitching. But like you said, there's a lot more bigger things than.
This is also important. This is also really important to me. I mean, this is like, I care about like sorting out all these issues. So, for me, this is like, it's not an insignificant thing at all. But I agree with you. The perspective is just good to maintain.
I mean, with the questions, I mean, honestly, probably just kind of how it is on there. I mean, you kind of just, I guess, go through them on there. And, of course, if anyone in chat has questions afterwards, you can put them in there, ask them away if you don't get answered.
There's a ton of questions. There's like 44 responses, and each one has like 20 questions. So I think we're going to get through quite a lot of the same stuff, or like questions at least.
Yep.
So, yeah, but.
So, I mean, if it comes up, I mean, we can just, I guess, go through it on there. And then, chat, if you really, 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 really want to, if you don't even trust me, I'll show you the screen that, the questions are on, because it's y'all's questions anyway. So
I would also like to read them as well.
Yeah, you want me to put them on, or do you got it on yours? Yeah, I got you.
I don't have them.
We get here. Boom. Oh, it's magic. That one might be easier, or if this one is, I can kind of do them overall one at a time. Yeah, it can be some good stuff.
How blunt's the best trait? Okay. Yes.
What?
Okay.
What
happened to the royalty? Okay. So how do you want to do this? Do you want me to just
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we just go as simple as stupid as it is, down one by one. I guess not stupid, sorry everyone, but like, yeah, I mean, it's not honestly an exact structure. It's more of just, hey, anyone in general that had questions I wanted to ask, they can ask away. It's not a, hey, there's only certain questions we can't ask. Just like the blunts are our best trait. I think a clean alien's the best trait, but that's just a personal thing. But you know what I mean. But yeah, I mean, just I guess one by one on that. Yeah, what happened to the royalties that was raised till date? Where did the money go to? And then how's that been invested? I guess.
So, majority of the money is still in on chain, like 90, probably 8% of it. I've cashed some out to fund my life existence, um, staying alive, Um, Other than that, most of the royalties are, I took some out at 250 into stables. So we
Nice.
got a good chunk, we got a good runway for a while, and the rest of the soul that I just left in soul, which is down bad right now, is just sitting in the ThugBirdz validator. So yeah, the royalties and stuff are still there. Nothing, it's all just thing. So,
There
yeah,
it's sitting.
and yeah, so obviously over the last uh months, like a lot of so like some funds have been spent, right, operating this business, getting like stuff, uh, like airdropping or like purchasing like art, like commissioning art, paying uh team members, Discord moderators, um, odd jobs and stuff, like this type of stuff. But yeah, that's where it is.
um uh shoot, next one, and it was just what and who I guess worked on the who on what exactly in the last 6 months. What did people I guess worked on?
Okay,
Give me the details, the breakdown of the same. Who's been working with the
detailed
project?
breakdown. Okay, so let's go through it all. I started the project and did a lot of the initial stuff on my own. I didn't know many people. Early on, Sosa reached out as a moderator. Got like him and a whole bunch of other people involved as mods. Uh, then the launch, like we had some developers help out during to get the second launch right, who we paid. Um, so yeah, and who else? Okay, after that, at the formation of the DAO, we got this core team, Cosa Nostra, which was like the OG members. So that was Sosa, New Money, Vlad, Tony, Saint Eclectic, and Dad, 0x1 Dad. Um, so New Money's role was head of art. Okay, he was the first guy in the community who did like submitted one of the rap songs, and or not submitted, but just made one, and then that kind of got the community super pumped, and like it was legendary stuff back in the early days. Um, and what he worked on initially was Thug Label, as that's kind of his lane. Um, at Well, I guess we'll talk about Thug Label in a different question. So I'll
Yeah, I'm
just
sure
say
that'll come up.
that was in that direction. Sosa was in the community side of things. Obviously Sosa's gone on to do other things. I think his job and stuff got really overwhelming as well, being in the healthcare sector, with COVID and all these things. So it's Sosa was, there from the start, and both of these guys are still in the community. And so Sosa was the community manager, as everyone knew. Saint Eclectic was kind of our, I don't know, he was kind of like a good person just to have as, part of a team. He was really connected to the DJ Apes and a lot of the NFT ecosystem, as we all know. He writes killer threads and he's really well informed and an educated guy. I really trust his judgment and opinion. So he was involved. Vlad, Tony, and 0x1 Dad, they did a lot of the early like development stuff, the bots, Dad got like involved with Fract, and Vlad I think is like backpacking or something.
Nice.
So we were like all kind of at that point. It was from my side. It was not like a serious full-time work commitment. It was more like these are the really community guys that I trust and that have put themselves forward to lead in this project, and we did a lot of things together. We accomplished a lot of good things. Um, you know, I guess the time, those things have changed. Everyone kind of wants to, I don't know, people move on, right? And you can understand that for whatever reason. Uh, I guess certain people moving on could have been avoided if certain things went different ways. But it can't just all be sunshine and roses, right? Like
Can
things
you
go
can
wrong,
you
and
speak on that? If not, it's okay. Because again, I don't want like straight up
yeah,
drama and stuff like that. But everyone's gonna be like, well, what do you mean? So
yeah.
I'll be the asshole guy to be ask main thug.
Us,
What's going on? Like what I guess what do you mean with that stuff?
yeah. I mean, just like there was kind of this. So with New Dumb Money, and the whole like taking charge of Thug Label, there was kind of internal conflict with other people who were also working on Thug Label. And that kind of just led to a shitty situation that I really would have I really hate, right? Just like I want people to be working together and like uh, adding value to this project because I don't know shit about a record label, but Need That Money and other members do. Um, and so like yeah, that that situation kind of got New Dumb Money, I guess, moving on to working on the geese and stuff because it's just like, yeah, he wants to do his own thing. And I mean, I could understand that, right? If you like having conflict, this is NFTs, it should be about fun and not like obligations. And yeah, Sosa, I guess, got approached by the Panthers. I guess it was kind of a weird time for me. Um, at that point, I was kind of, going through like a bit of a burnout personally. It was during that first NFT like dip. I was kind of just like depressed about life. Like burnt out from sprinting on this project 4 months, and
Damn
like
hard.
NFTs are exhausting, bro. Like even just being on the flipping side, like the project side is way worse.
I could
Like
only imagine.
yeah, it kind of gets really tough. So um yeah, like dad is working closely with Fract, but he's still working with me. He's actually working on something really cool right now, which is, he's noticed on Hello Moon, a lot of our statistics are out there. If you guys go check out Hello Moon, a lot of the analytics on thugs are out there. It's really cool. We're actually really close with the Hello Moon team. CEO I met over here, Walker, he's a really professional guy. And yeah, we were like partnering with Hello Moon for getting some great analytics on the community and figuring out ways to use this data to reward our long-term holders and people who don't move and people who accumulate and all these good things. So um yeah. So what were we talking about? I kind of just
Uh,
lost my train of thought.
you're good. You're good. It was basically the people that were working
Oh
on the
yeah,
project,
yeah,
who was
right,
there,
right.
what were they doing within
Yeah,
the last 6 months.
yeah,
So
yeah.
even
So
though I guess you forgot what you were saying, you were actually
yeah,
explaining
no, no.
everything you were supposed to do.
I remember exactly what I'm talking about. What I was talking about. So Dad, he's working on an awesome like project for the thugs to make kind of like a club out of these like diamond fist holders, and it's gonna be really cool, I think. So excited to see developments on that. And Vlad's the man. I interact with him, so and he from the start was always working on the bots. Right now, Vlad's a cool guy. He's living life. So yeah, and then the new team. Subsequently to that, I was kind of left no community manager, no real um, day-to-day involvement of other people in the project. So it kind of left me in a tough position. With a lot like on the line and a lot on my shoulders. But I kind of found a good solution. Like the anxiety, a lot of people know him. He seemed, he was an obvious choice as like someone to take up the community side of things. Like Huntley, who's uh, been in the communities for a long time and is a very competent and experienced person in real life brand building and marketing. And also Weird City, who's been, a moderator in the Discord since day one and helped set up a lot of the audience things initially. And yeah, like that's the core team. Obviously, recently Chico has joined us. We've got some developers who are all like kind of part-time, like 3 or 4 developers. But because it's like really tough to full-time hire really good developers. Like you don't want to hire someone who's not good. And you can't hire someone that's good by just being like, yo, I'll just give you like USDC or whatever. They like a good developer like can get a solid job where he can report that to the IRS and like he can pay his bills with that and pay taxes and all of this shit. So that's also now like the next kind of improvement or like next level of capabilities that we can unlock is like raising funding in real life and using that to like hire a legitimate team to work on stuff full time. And other than that, we've got like a team of mods. We got guys, keeping everyone engaged on the Discord. What else? I think we got like you working on the podcast. Yeah, I would say that's pretty much everyone involved. We got like a ton of community mods and stuff. And we got 2 separate guys running the Twitter. They've been doing a good job with keeping the memes and stuff good. I used to run the Twitter. I think my Twitter game was pretty good. So maybe I'll go back to full-time Twitter and just shitpost through this bear market, and that'll be my role going forward.
Be your relaxation
But yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, it's not even relaxing, dude. You just like fucking go to war with people on Twitter.
Fuck
Yeah.
this. Do
Yeah,
you
like fuck you right back, dude. Fuck
you
your
know what I
pride.
mean? Like, come on, son.
That used to be the ThugBird way, dude. I used to like use that Twitter account, like do some crazy shit on it, but I can't do that shit anymore. I gotta be professional these days.
Let's see, you got bigger, or the ThugBirdz got bigger. Next question, just because we'll go one by one. You know what I mean?
It's gonna take long, bro.
Oh, it's gonna take a minute.
I'll keep the answers a bit more brief.
Yeah, we'll keep it brief, and then if the chat,
responses.
starts getting mad because you're doing some brief stuff, I mean, we'll be like, yo, chill, you know what I mean? But well, yeah, I mean, on the next one again, it can be as brief as you want.
Let me try go a bit quicker.
What are you planning for the next 6 months? Do you have a detailed plan or not?
Yes, we have a detailed plan. The current way I've decided to communicate this is to not do it 6 months at a time, because we did that last roadmap, or like we did it quarterly even. It was like, yeah, we started on a bunch of things, and there was like other stuff that we thought would be like a great presentation to people, and like this is all the things we want to do, and by this day we want to have it done, like at the end of the quarter. And that's a dumb idea, because as I just mentioned, like one takes control of one thing and things change and you have to fix problems and people clash and ideas change and the ecosystem changes and certain strategies don't work and you form new partnerships that are better and all of these things. So it's just all about adapting. For this reason, just dropping monthly like mini roadmaps and saying like, okay, for the next month, this this is what's going on. Um, this is what like we're working on in general terms. But overall, we of course have long-term plans and visions, but it's just like senseless putting that stuff down and saying like we're gonna try and do this. It just sets you up for like an inevitable. You're gonna change your plans. So that's the thing right now. It's like just gonna be the next update will come on the 1st of March, and that'll include a lot more of the actual substance of what's being delivered. So yeah.
Heard that. Next question: if ThugBirdz is hard to run, or hard to you, are you open to give it to the community?
Birds is hard to me. That sounds kind of weird. I hope the birds are hard to me. But yeah, if it's hard for me to run, it is pretty hard. But it's good. It's good that it's hard. If it's like was easy, then everyone would be succeeding.
Um,
I don't mind it being hard. Am I open to give it to the community? I'm open to that. But I don't think it's a wise idea. It's like that's not good. Um, I'm open for sure to giving the community a lot more control and transparency about what's going on. And a good way to do that is just, as we said, like the DAO formation, there's the treasury, there's team. We take everyone and say, this is everyone that wants to work on this. This is their skills and stuff, and we're going to do a vote. And I will interview everyone, and people I trust, I will consult them. And we say, okay, this is the head of marketing for the DAO. This is the head of working partnerships for the DAO. This is the whatever head of this for the DAO. These are the sub DAOs we're forming. We want the Beanie DAO to be doing this. We want the Durags to be doing this, or we want, they can choose between these different ideas. Like that's essentially what I want to happen. And then on my end, I can let the DAO do their thing, and the community keeps each other engaged, and I will be interacting with them and figuring out, okay, what are you guys building? Then I can really take my strategy, which is like the bigger picture, kind of long-term strategic direction of the project, and I can get my own team of branding people and make sure like the stuff that I develop around the IP of ThugBirdz like adds value to the project. So that's essentially like I would think the best solution. Although if we form a DAO and it's like there's overwhelming 99 or 80% of people are like, yeah, fuck this guy. Don't even need like no entanglement needed. Like I'll give you the update authority. Like you can, if you really like, I want what's best for everyone. So if that's the overall consensus that like people are wanting to, ditch me, that's fine. I mean, I'll but
don't
I
think
really
it's
do.
them, but
I
we got some
really do have
questions.
like, yeah, I get it. I really do have the like positive think there's a way that these two can work together, and that's like
Heard that.
when things go well in a project, that's what it looks like, right? So
Um,
yeah.
Next one, it was something you had to answer was our core team. What do they do? What are their roles? Next one, if you can see, you mentioned at one point in bringing in a C-level entrepreneur / person to take reins on the growth of the ThugBirdz. What happened to this? Do you remember anything
Yeah.
about that? Anything? What's going on with that?
So I think that's just referring. I don't know what a C-level entrepreneur is
We're on
slash
the A level,
entrepreneur slash person. Um, take the reins on the growth of ThugBirdz. What happened to this endeavor? Well, yeah, it's like as I said, it turns out like actually like hiring people to take the reins of growth or marketing or branding or any of these things requires essentially like incorporation and like a legal entity for it to be like anything of substance. So that's the process we're in right now, and like people are going to be hired from like hopefully we get like a really great team into help like lead the development end of the project. But in terms of the DAO, I believe DAO doesn't need to hire some guy to run it. I think like the community can effectively coordinate if we set them up with good enough infrastructure, or at least they propose to set it up. And it's like then we can get a lot
No,
a lot more
100%.
done. I believe like the community is all it needs. Like we've got enough competent people within the community already that we don't need to hire anyone else. We really want to empower like the skilled people that we have already, because we do. I mean, it's crazy. Should be
Uh,
using this.
yeah, I mean, the community in general is strong. I mean, I know just from the Hello Moon, ironically, looking at them because we had them on the podcast as well, just with the
Yeah.
longevity of just the holders and everything.
Yeah.
The next question: when is Moon? When's utilities? Like D gods. I mean, it's I guess what you're doing right now, trying to do everything on the back end on marketing and stuff. Um,
Yeah.
so it's just
When
when with the
when
Moon.
when moon when moon soon. Um, when utilities and strong marketing like the gods are doing. Yeah. So the um economics and bread development stuff, I guess, the question regarding that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So well, that'll be like we've got this lockup period starting in 5 days, or I guess 4 days, since we dropped that announcement yesterday, the sentient AI. Um, and yeah, following that period, it's like a 30-day lockup or lockdown. Your thugs are gonna be locked. And it's like attrition. It's attrition. You're not gonna get anything dropped during that period. However, you are accumulating. So after that, you'll receive a bunch of tokens, and then staking functionality will be audited and ready. We've got um, Twitter Spaces tomorrow at 6, or like at some point. I mean, I'll announce it. I'll announce it tomorrow afternoon. And that's going to be giving pretty much all the info on what's actually going to be going down with Bread and the launch. We're having it with a different protocol. We're really excited to like have this partner involved, and like it brings a lot of uh, like it's like audited. Everything's going to be audited and like safe for the holders, and from a legal perspective, it's also going to be covered. So that makes life a lot easier. But yeah, I know it's been a frustrating period for everyone. The date 222 and Bread is entirely like me. Uh, stupid. It's like I picked that date. I love the special numbers 222 2022. And that's why we have 333 birds, and like we follow 111 people, and I like the repeating numbers. I see them more and more often these days.
I
It's a good sign.
gotta ask, did you think I will call it a backfire? Do you think it was gonna backfire like how it did on this? Because I was gonna say backfire because unfortunately people were speaking their mind. You know what I mean in
I agree.
Discord. Um, what are your thoughts when? I guess one. What are your thoughts when you woke up? You're like, shit, it's supposed to be something good, and you woke up like that.
No, no. So I knew like I picked that date, and like we could have had something else ready by then. Like is like you can throw together like a simple like tokenomics, and whip something up pretty quickly. You can get staking outsourced really easily. Like you can buy it. Like it's trivial stuff. So um, the date 222 is as I was saying, it was like my mistake putting this date and like hyping, making everyone like kind of hyped it up, and then like at the last minute, or like during the last couple of days before, like we actually needed one more week, and You know, it's just me.
Heard
It's just
that.
me. And the problem is simply just miscommunication. If I just had communicated like, yeah, we're working on it. We need more time. This is the thing is like I'm like emotionally scarred from launching. I delayed a couple of times the launch. First, it was meant to be the 15th of August. Then we delayed it to the 22nd, and there was like ailment to the 27th or 28th that we launched. Um, every time the delay came or there was some trouble, like the FUD, it's crazy. The Discord blows up, and I've got like PTSD from that shit, dude. So like at all costs, I'm like avoid delay, get something out, and that's just a dumb way to do it. It's just like, dude, just take a breath. It's okay. One more week, the lockdown starts, and things go ahead as like planned. So this could have all been avoided. I think it's good though. Like on a grand scheme,
Hmm.
it's like no one's really gonna remember like the 1 day shakeout or like dip. But what it's given us is this opportunity to like speak like this. Like when have we ever done this? Never. Like answering questions from the community. So it's you gotta always just try and look for the positive and um yeah, as long as we keep like just showing up and trying our best to listen to everyone and all these good suggestions, like gonna be it's gonna be like a process, but we are improving as long as we keep showing up. So yeah,
Improving is, of course, the main thing, and I mean, like you said, I mean, I know I mean, you're the head of the NFT project and everything, but like you said, hopefully you do know that as well. I'm sure everyone in here. I mean, literally someone a second ago says, hey, good to understand. He understands the miscommunication and everything. So like people do appreciate the coming on and just the transparency even as of right now. So of course, hopefully it continues
but
everything like that.
since the since the start did of the project, I've always been like transparent. If I make a mistake, it's like, yeah, make a mistake. I'm a human being.
For sure.
Um, I've got nothing against transparency. The reason there's no transparency is not because there's lack of willingness to be transparent. It's just like lack of like effective organization and communication of like what's actually going on. And so like this now has given me just like, oh, dude, wake up. Like let's just set up this thing like for real that like people can actually be involved in a formal way and we can all have like open dashboard of what the DAO is working on and like where can you help and what team can you join, just like what the Monkey DAO is doing. The Monkey DAO has been a great example, and we've been consulting like them and Nom, like he's a ThugBirdz holder. He'll probably listen to this. Shout out Nom.
Shout out Nama.
No,
I
they're
know he
going.
wants to
They
have a boxing match whenever it's a Solana boxing. I know with Ethe had it. We had him on the ThugBirdz podcast. I don't think he was calling anyone out, but he was always
oof.
down. So I was like, yo, if it's ever a boxing match, I got the ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, standing 5'10", 275
Shit.
pounds straight of muscle. I got you. You know what I mean? Shout out, holla.
Dude, 275 pounds.
I don't know.
That's heavy, bro.
I mean, he's straight. He's a big dude. He played rugby and shit, bro.
Yeah, no,
I
Nom is
remember the first
a
time I was in
beast.
Twitter Spaces. He was like the first thing you said is I think it was like I think you're smaller, bigger, one of the ones. I was like, damn, bro, he could have
Yeah,
smashed your ass, dog. Granted, I
I
mean,
thought.
I seen you on stage. You look pretty decent, big yourself, but I mean, you boy's a rugby player,
No, no,
dog.
no, no. I'm getting fat out here, dude. But Nom is a big guy, and I certainly don't want to mess with him. And he's like, yeah, the thing that was funny about him, I thought he was fat when I just heard his voice, like on spaces and phone calls. I assumed he was a fat dude because he just kind of sounds like that, you know. So I was kind of offended by that. But yeah, it's all good vibes with Nom. He's not a fat guy. He's just a big guy, and he's like, don't box Nom. I mean, unless you know what you're doing. Yeah.
The next one, I think someone's just trying to pump their bag, so I guess someone's getting some random ass free advertisement. When you met in
Yeah.
Bohemia, do you know what the hell
Nah,
that is? Okay, it's a no
I don't know
go
what
then.
that is. As long as I
Uh,
long to up with innovation in space, yes. See, that's the thing. I'm just reading this question.
oh
It doesn't have
boy.
to be the most insane utility. It has to have strength of a brand, OG status, a little has been done these past months. Other projects are building relentlessly. This is a good point. And I agree. At first, I was super resistant to tokens. I still kind of, a lot of these tokens, I still am bearish on. Um, but that is a silly way to go about it. Because like, oh, why are these tokens and then pumping? And like, why are these NFTs valuable? It's a tricky balance. It's like, is it the actual value derived from the actual staking and like the token being valuable, or is this all marketing hype that's like feeding into the rest of the ecosystem and that maybe will just go away if we enter World War III and things just collapse? What happens? So I agree in that, it's tricky, but um I came to a realization that like, oh, if I just leave ThugBirdz and add no utility at all, we're gonna die. And that's why in the first place I started thinking about the concept of bread. And that's why it's been really important for me to not just make it a pump and dump or like make it a simple game theoretic kind of uh, thing that or maybe like breeding or some shit like baby thugs and I don't know, you like thug, whatever's thugettes, uh, all of these, kind of Ponzi's that don't really add much value. It's just like dropping stuff in people's wallets. And so, um, yeah, that's been the trick is like getting to tokenomics that actually has utility, and that's what we're coming up with. So, as well as, there will be also an element of like gamified usage of a token that has no real utility other than pure just like fun or just like engagement of the community. And so that could include something like let's say like a cops game, right? I'm not saying this is something, but it's just like you can have some fun with that at least. And let's say you could play with other thugs and you could both put up some tokens. It's like the Jumbo Discord, right? Like it's super fun playing with these tokens, and you're just getting them airdropped to your wallet. That's fun, and that's what this token is about for me. It's not to like pump the bags of holders and pump the floor, because it's like that doesn't happen when you release a token. What happens is if you make something that people want to use and that's fun, and you give it some actual utility, then the value becomes higher because people want that. Want that. So that's kind of the approach. And yeah, I guess that I hope that answers that question. I
Yeah.
agree. Also one thing I want to just add is like, okay, when we launched, there was no utility planned. It was just like Thug plus Bird. That's like about ThugBirdz,
Yo.
Thug plus Bird. Yo, Coco, fucking rap, like chill vibes, just take it easy. I was ThugBirdz, okay? A lot of these projects launching now have been building for 6 months, and it's like because they have time to see the ecosystem, and they're like, oh yeah, this is where it's going. Let's check Ethereum. Oh, Cyberkongs, like fuck, we have some time to build this. Build it out, have it ready, and then you ship. Like as you launch, you start shipping stuff, and it's like everyone's freaking out. Like, wow, these guys are doing great, and they are doing great. They build great things. But we're not in that position. We were never in that position. Players just
Oh,
like getting to
give me one
functioning
second.
like that, right? Like,
I don't know if that's
you
your
hear me?
Discord or mine. Switch
You
device.
hear me?
Hold up. Can you hear me?
Let me exit and
Good
come back.
old Discord. Give me 2 seconds.
Um,
Do you hear me now? Check,
can you hear
check.
me?
Hello? Can you hear me?
I hear you. I think it's you. Wonder if this is still live.
Hello, hello? Check, check. Check, check. Hello, hello. Chat. Can you hear him?
I can't hear you, bro.
You hear both of them. So on my end, let me see here. Check, check, check. Hello, hello, hello. Yo, yo, yo. Mic check, mic check.
Gaddis. Can you hear me?
I hear
hear
you. I hear.
I can't hear you. I can you know what? Are you streaming this? This is still live?
Yep.
Okay. You know what I can do? I could just read the questions myself and like keep going through them. If I don't know if we don't solve this. I went into a different browser and everything. I don't think the problem's on my side.
No, you're good.
Okay, let's just speak in sign language, bro. Yeah.
Shoot.
Okay, I don't know what to do, dude. Like, what do you want to do?
Give me 1 minute.
1
1 minute. All right, chat. That's great because y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the
I could briefly hear you there. You just cut in for 1 second.
Check, check. Yo, yo. Oh, you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
That happened last time with Discord. But yeah, no, we're still live. Let me switch one more quick thing. Yeah. It was weird. They could hear me and then they could hear you, but you couldn't hear me. I was like, what the hell's going on?
Discord likes to rug every now and then.
You know what I mean?
Everything's a rug.
Everything's a rug. Son of a bitch. All right,
We'll get rugged every now and then.
Now we're back, Gucci. All right, boom, boom. All right. Next time, hit no on the new device. True that, type. But I think last time I did, and then it still happened. Rookie mistakes on my end. All right, let's get back to it. Where were we at? I think you were just talking about, I guess, the long-term vision and the branding on that one. I guess.
I think we finished that one, right?
Yep. Speaking of, someone was talking about the DAO. Speaking of it 100 times. Oh yeah, they want to be in charge of the money. Hold it.
Yeah. Are you reading the why do we still have no real DAO?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there'll be a DAO, a treasury. People will be controlling it. To what extent? We need to decide. Like, it's like you want a DAO, but I don't know if you like really want that. Like all of it, right? I guess we can speak to the community and be like, yeah, what do you want to take control of? Or is there like, can we give you guys roles to do and jobs to do? And can we allocate stuff like bounties and stuff for you guys to work on? Or, what's kind of this relationship going to be? I'm talking to a lot of the community members all day. Like, I've been in the trenches, bro. Talking to everyone and just like getting all these suggestions. And it's like, I hear everyone's frustrations. In my view, a DAO is really hard to get a DAO working in a real DAO way. Even if we call it a DAO, there's going to be core people involved, and it's like same problems, like organizational problems. So these problems are not just going to go away by giving it to the community. That's a bullshit that's a bullshit solution to these problems. I feel like we can find a better solution. But like I agree that DAO formation is essential and you can do a lot of good things with that. So yeah.
So I think it answers on that one. Next question. I mean, some of them answered, but who's currently in the team as a dev? What are they building? If you can mention something quick on that, who would those be?
Yeah, so as I said, we have a couple of devs working on, it's like contract work essentially. It's not full time. And when we need to get stuff built out, like let's say like a lockdown, this lockdown functionality, or like get like a airdrop script, or get like the token distribution script done, or like all of these like kind of uh, things we need built. But I agree, like not having like like a developer, I guess. I know how to hack shit together, but I'm not like a software like a trained, experienced engineer. And so like building stuff when you're not don't really like me, like I can probably hack some shit together, but it's way better for me to just get people do it. But finding developers in the ecosystem is also really hard. Try find one. Like it's really tough finding one and paying them, like without spending a lot of money. So again, like incorporation stuff is just going to be amazing. It unlocks a lot of real world things that we can do. So yeah.
I heard that. Kind of mentioned a little bit who implemented bread and the mechanics. Um,
For that, I'm gonna just keep it low key until tomorrow. There'll be the Twitter Spaces that I'm on, and will that announcement will be clear tomorrow. But that'll clarify that.
heard that. With the Twitter says tomorrow, clarify I guess I'm assuming the uses of bread as well. Kind of go through the whole metrics on there, or can
Yeah,
you?
exactly.
Heard that. Let me see what will be developed next month. What's tomorrow? What's tomorrow? What's next month? I guess it's kind of in
What
general
will be
question.
developed next month? I mean, uh, like we're gonna continue doing what we've been doing. Um, you know, chipping away. I guess if you want to know the roadmap for March, just wait for the roadmap for March, and then there'll be like some more clear things that we'll be putting in there. But yeah, I mean, all the stuff that I've been talking about, I guess in the next month, the token like will be coming out, and then that ecosystem will be you'll be able to interact with that. So that's one thing coming in the next month. But yeah, uh,
I heard
March
that.
March 1.
The next question, I mean, kind of already spoken on. It'll be on the Twitter space tomorrow. The utility of the bread token, and then I guess how can it be expected for the long term? So to be on Twitter space tomorrow, correct?
Yeah, so
Heard that.
how I don't really know how is it can be expected to hold for long term.
I'm assuming
I don't know what that means.
they're probably saying like
Hold it for as long as you want. Doesn't go away.
yeah.
What?
I'm assuming yeah
But
that one
like,
where as long as you
does
hold
it
it,
hold
can it? Well,
value? I
you
don't know.
probably you probably honestly answer tomorrow on that. I'm assuming it's
How
you
does
didn't
how
answer it,
does
but
how does Solana how long does Solana hold value? Like what
as
are we
long as
going
you
like
say.
as like whatever the market like dude. Yeah.
Well, what are the next plans and everything to make ThugBirdz great again? We're already great. Can't be great again if we're already great. I would say first step is you do what you're doing now, doing what you're doing, answering questions from literally everyone in the community on this one.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not a big thing. And floor price is like a depressing metric for people when it's down, but it's also insanely like fragile. It's like one guy can come and sweep the floor on like the entire collection. If you look at the scale of stuff that's going down on ETH and other Solana
so
projects,
much.
but I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's just like, if you effectively, as we've been saying, like you nail the branding and the brand building from one side and inject yourself into culture uh, and the community is working together and with the development team, these three things together uh, makes like a really compelling, makes it like really compelling, right? And then thugs will be even greater. But I still think like, if we zoom out, I laugh at that term, zoom out. Uh, how far do you zoom? What really
Yeah.
matters? Like we're already dead, right, in the grand scheme of things. But let let's forget about that and say like, if we just look at what the situation is with our project, it's like it's 6 months old. How many projects can say that? Um,
And I think
Still got
I
a
think you did
really
a tweet
active.
earlier, in the sense of like even though the floor is like 30, 40, something like that, it meant it with the 1, 2, and 3. So people, like me, granted, still holding it. That's still a hell of a strong come up. Granted, yeah, it's a big jump number difference from like the 120 to the 30s, but
Yeah,
I think like you said in this as well, like what I guess
of
other
course.
community has been steadily at that point for giving it. So, of course, me as a random ass holder, of course, I want to see it go to 4,000. So I'm like,
I did too.
oh, but staying steady is a strong attribute as well.
I agree, dude. It shows people stick around for the right reasons. Because it's like we've lost a lot of people, okay,
Yeah.
that were here. And it's like, okay, people come and go, that's fine. Like new people come in and they want to do shit, and we're seeing that. So like people are like reaching out to us and giving us these questions because people want to be involved and start like building things for the project in like a and start contributing. So um
I heard that.
yeah, like I agree. The floor is a metric that kind of can distract. And although it is important, I agree. It's an important thing. Like I want the floor to be high. If I look at like the fact that we're 6 months into existence, we're still going. In general, we haven't really even like scratched the surface of what we can be developing and like building around this brand. Um, and our unique holders are pretty much at an all-time high. We reached it like a couple of days ago, and we're at like 67% unique ownership after 6 months, and that number is growing. So that's kind of the metric that I'm really keeping an eye on. Is like we can keep that metric up, our unique ownership. Look, as we said, Hello Moon, like 80% of people have not moved their thug since buying it. That to me is a great sign. It shows we have a really solid community that are in it for good reasons. And I don't know if a lot of projects can say that. Because this meta, I don't like that term either, but that's kind of the word. These trends that come around and the meta, um, they form like artificial communities that like pump each other up and like they feel like, oh, wag me, and then they just dump on each other and take run for the hills. Thugs have kind of passed, I feel like, this great filter of NFT projects in terms of community staying on board. So, a lot of people say that like they'll go to death or whatever with their ThugBird, and I think some people believe it did. Like, so that's cool. And as long as we keep our like visions on the long term, uh, also maintaining or like at least improving short term communication and operations and organization and all of these things as well. Then I think we're in a good position. So yeah.
100%.
Um, okay.
Next one, I guess.
Community wallet transparency. Yeah. So
Indeed.
um, there's like a bunch of protocols that produce like that will be that we've been looking at and thinking about like our treasury management, all of this stuff. There's some great streaming, um, payment streaming things that like Zebek protocol is one of them that will be like probably using their like audited streaming as a way to run like let's say payments for the DAO team. So you have the treasury and everyone can see what's in there. We put all the NFTs that have been bought with the royalties in there. We put like the soul in there, however much is needed. Um, and As I
So
said, there's no problem with transparency, and then you have the streams going out to people, and it's like everyone can see who's getting paid what. And
yes.
I agree. Like transparency is going to be like one of these things that we'll be focusing on. By the way, I was going to record notes now, but I've neglected to do it. So I'm going to watch this like probably tonight again and just write down everything that I say we're like doing, just so like because I know people are gonna be listening and being like, okay, he said
He's
this, like
doing
he's
something.
gonna when are we doing this? So like I'm gonna make a list. I can even like publish this list. This is like the vision right now, or like the mission. It's like open source everything. Like tell everyone what's going on exactly. Like so I can show everyone, and then like over the next time, like 2 days, I'll be traveling, so I'll be having some time to just be offline and kind of think about a lot of these things and questions, and even like do a lot of the things that I'm talking about now. So yeah, like just want everyone to keep that in mind.
Get a little bit more in depth. No, that's totally cool. Cause yeah, I mean, I know it's gonna be honestly kind of a long run on that, but yeah, I guess next question. Fortunately, some mods, I guess on that one, but
The
you let
mods
us
under
know.
Weird City gonna get paid or get actual responsibilities. We were promised a paid job since forever ago, helping the people out, managing Discord, and then just suddenly became redundant with the addition of a new team. So what's important about the community helpers that we brought in, like the Nifty Degenerate and them, um, they're a dedicated team who are like in Discord, and they're doing a great job. I've spoken to many people about them, and it's like everyone likes the positive energy. They like have an insane amount of positive energy, and they just like engage with people. And that's not something I necessarily want the ThugBirdz holders to have to be. Like, you don't have to be like a policeman in this, or like a guy who's just like interacting with everyone and like doing tricks for everyone. Um, because like this is your project. You don't have to, as a moderator, you kind of your role from my view is just like you're expected to answer some questions if you know the answers, or like at least direct people in the right direction, or um, yeah, like if you see anything illegal or like sketchy, or you want to ban someone, you ban them, right? Like just keep the Discord, just check out the Discord and make sure that like things are not a problem. And if you need to hit someone up, hit them up. In terms of the payment with Weird City, I paid him like a bunch of money probably 2 or 3 weeks ago for the OG mods I know, who were compensated for their work. Uh, that's been like outstanding, I guess. I don't know how much, like he's just he was just like, I need this much for the mods. I just put that in his hands, and so if the mods haven't been compensated for their work this year, that's the first I'm hearing about it. I'll talk to Weird City about that and find out what's what. If the mods haven't been paid for some reason, then I'll just like I apologize for that. It's I hope it's not something that's been intentionally done. It's probably been really tough, you know, from my side, following up with all these tiny little things. So we'll get to the bottom of that. And yeah, when will they have real responsibilities? In terms of, like the DAO formation, all of this structure and stuff that's in place now is going to have to be rethought and kind of just can be optimized. So the existing mods can be like mods, but then they have their own roles. And I believe Nifty, Degenerate, and them are like a value add to our community. And I think they should be involved. But if, like, yeah, so the mods, are probably going to be like the ones who are going to want to take like a leadership role. So like if you're a mod, we'll be circulating stuff like that soon. Um, Gathering people for roles, and you're a mod and you've been around for a long time and you feel like you want to take additional responsibility on the DAO side of things, then there will be like we will uh, that will be happening. So yeah.
Heard that. guess let's see if we want to answer anything else on that. Next one, talking about I guess the merch array. It'll be great to see hoodies, t-shirts, backpacks, pins,
Yes.
shades. Um,
Ah, yes, it's coming. There was a demo at LA Hacker House, or Seattle. If you paid attention, I dropped announcements, but it's like there was a ThugBirdz merch store demo with Solana Pay hooked up. So this is still in development. The dev is like working on a storefront kind of solution for, all projects that want to hook up a merch store with Solana Pay. So it's like building something that scales a little bit. He just hacked it together during a couple of days in the hackathon. And Solana Pay is pretty recent, right? So that's one side of development that's currently going on. Sold.it. You can check them out on Twitter. The Twitter's not really active. I guess they're just like building stuff out, but yeah. And then the other side, when I was in LA, I got in touch with a great like streetwear guy, and merchandise guy. So there's like a whole bunch of samples and stuff being put together now, and like designs that I'll be looking at. And the goal is to just make that cool as fuck. Like, caps and stuff, and the hoodies that are shipping. There's been some delays with the shipping. Daryl and Miles out in Singapore have been keeping an eye on it, and like, this is reality. This is COVID-19. There's like supply chain issues and manufacturing stuff. And Daryl and Miles are the most professional, probably people, community like volunteers who are like, dude, we want to do merch. They are excellent. Like I really recommended both of them for like their roles at Magic Eden, and like, like I think nothing but respect for those guys. And
hell yeah.
the hoodies that were meant to be, we thought they were going to be shipped like end of Feb or during Feb, but that's kind of taken a little bit longer. I think in March, Daryl did drop an announcement. So um yeah, those things are coming out, and the reason it took longer is because we like really wanted to make the quality good. We spent a lot of money on it, and
Nice.
but yeah, going forward, the merchandise and like streetwear stuff, it's gonna be cool, man, and it's gonna have like bread integrated into it. Like you're gonna be able to stake your bird and buy like cool shit with your bread, dude. Like not thug eggs or whatever. Like you're gonna be buying like some cool stuff, and
Actual stuff.
the hope is to like eventually like build out a streetwear brand, right, where you could collaborate with legitimate brands and try build out like a Supreme or something. Um, we have already like a great community, and I think we have like a great, very like a brandable uh name and like concept. So I
Yeah.
think, yeah,
No,
it's
I
gonna be
agree with
cool.
you. I
Yeah,
think
that's coming.
I think merch will do good just because everyone's wanting merch. You know, what I mean, I stuck up my thug socks over there. I still be rocking some more hats. I need a beanie, but um, all in due time with that. I guess next one, any advantage of rare attributes? I guess the shades or
Yeah.
any.
So in terms of rarity, I'm neglecting. Like we're not doing staking in terms of like what number of rarity it's compensated differently, because there's like different sources of truth, right? It's opinion. Like these things, although it shouldn't be, it's weird. Like different rarity sites give you different rankings for your Thugbird. It's really strange. But anyways, the approach taken is like we got the enforcer, like the class or the type of thug, not type, but I mean the role in the gang, which is like enforcers, thugs, underboss, and the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously the boss is gonna earn like more than the underboss, and like the underboss is gonna earn more than um
Just the
than like
regular
the
ones. Yeah.
enforcer, yeah, yeah, and then like the thugs are gonna be the basic boys. But then it's like, so doing the role in the gang, um, that is just a clear like number order level, and then the shades. So different shades will get compensated in different ways, and like
Nice.
we want to build out cool ways to be able to change the stuff, like although like immutability is a bit of a concern. With the latter half of our collection, we are not like on update stuff, but nevertheless, we're still gonna think of cool ways to like make these things a bit more like upgradable. Your ThugBird, you're gonna be able to train him in different ways, and some technical, the immutability makes it a bit tough if you can't change metadata. But there are workarounds that like I've been speaking to some developers about, and it's like, yeah, you can make like fun little interactions like that pretty cool. MacBook suggested today like it'd be cool if I could pick my own favorite rapper and put it in the metadata. Like that would be cool. So stuff like that, it's like
Pretty nice. Shout out
pretty
to all
cool.
the Tupacs out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shout
In
out.
general, the rarity will make a difference in those two classes of things.
Nice.
Avoiding the other like type stuff, it kind of is, like you can't value one more than the other, even though just have to
No.
keep a clear distinction. It's like different number of shades, and these are clearly like Haggard and also the role in the gang simplifies things.
No, it makes sense. I was just saying you might need to get some more water here in a minute, big dog. We still got a couple more
Uh,
questions. Honestly, some of them are probably gonna be some of the same ones you've actually already answered.
I think it's gonna go quicker.
But yeah, the I guess next one, what happened with the behind the scenes or with the 2-2? You talked about it beforehand. You love numbers like that, 2-2-2-2-2-2, and you know what I mean, in 3-3-3-3-3. So you love your numbers.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
self-explanatory, honestly, and people can go back to one of the things when you said it on there.
It's communication.
Huh?
Bad communication. That's what happened.
Next one, as you see, Hatch Labs, is it going to be something? I mean, you can try to, I guess, answer all of them for the most part. For the first two, on there.
I can explain Hatch Labs. I should have explained it more, and I've not really addressed this much. But so the idea with Hatch Labs, this started like last year. It was a lot like the idea was Launchpad, right? Which we're seeing now, like a whole bunch of stuff going down. And there's a reason this stuff goes down is because we ran into these problems 4 or 5 months ago, and I was like, this is a dead end. Launch pads are not a good idea. We parked it. And then my idea was like, okay, let's pivot Hatch Labs and make it all about the one of one art scene. And you know, the ways we're gonna be actively like doing this. I mean, I haven't put like a team in charge. I have a Dr. Chillman. He's really passionate about one of one art scene, and he's kind of collected all the artists together and has been having conversations with a lot of these artists and take Hatch Labs. What's important is he's like a full-time doctor and he's working like 28-hour shifts, and he can't do it. Like he can't run Hatch Labs. So again, it's just like this thing about delegation and like communicating to everyone, like, yeah, we need someone to run Hatch Labs because we want the one of one art like stuff being organized in a better way, and we are working on so like a Holoplex. I don't know if I can actually mention this. Might be a secret in terms
Yeah,
of
I
what
know.
Holoplex have got in
Depending,
development, but yeah,
I know they said they got some good
there
stuff
is
coming. I
there
had
is
them
some
right there.
cool. Yeah, so that thing that they're referring to is like it's gonna be pretty cool for the one-on-one artist, and I guess that'll be the genesis of actual Hatch Labs. Like, okay, we have built this platform, that's gonna be coming out, and then around that, like, okay, how do we use that as a way to get the Hatch Labs concept running, and we can do podcasts, and we can find new artists, and we can have them showcasing their work on a specific place, and we can have all sorts of things support the one-on-one art scene. And I think a cool way to do this is also going to be like, how do we discover new artists and buy this stuff for a good price? Because we know like we should have some people in our Discord who are really into art because that's what we're all about, right? And they can judge and see an artist and see if they're legit or not and buy their stuff for cheap, like help that artist maybe change the whole life with one purchase, right? That's the
Yeah.
level of like, and then following that, like, you can always sell that art. It's like, and that could be a way to sustain a lot of, growth and inject like a lot of needed liquidity into unrecognized one-on-one artists in the ecosystem.
Heard that. No, makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, the I guess like label you kind of mentioned on that one before. Like you saw on, like you say, I guess communication stuff like that.
So
Um,
yeah, the ThugBirdz label. I just want to. I don't know if I've said this, but yeah, it's what's been going down with it has kind of been this weird drama, but uh, it's not. It's like a huge focus of the project, and the vision and like the long-term play, and it's not something we need to rush. That's something that I'm moving specifically to like Los Angeles for. I'm like gonna be getting like an apartment there for like the next foreseeable future, and like being based out there, just even being out there during the hacker house for a couple of days was insanely valuable. Um, in terms of like connections in the music industry and managers and stuff that are out there. And so, ThugBirdz label is definitely going to be a huge focus coming up, and it's like the way to think about it, and the way that I've been, talking to people about it is like there's going to be this. There is this. Everyone's talking about music NFTs, and it's really tough because it's like existing artists are kind of owned by labels, and um, streaming is as cheap as music will ever get, free. You can't compete on that level. NFT, you're not going to listen to NFTs like you listen to Spotify. So it's like, okay, if we're not, that's not really like a label. Um, but what can we do? Well, NFTs, this world that we understand, and Web3, it's a great way to form a community. Each artist needs a community and has one, and it's a great way to reward your community and get them to own parts of your like brand or even some of your music if you prefer to like sell it to them or master editions or all of this type of stuff. And a lot of this stuff needs to be like built out and set up, especially targeting upcoming artists who are not yet caught up in like a label. That's gonna be cool, man. Like making art again. It's just like what I want this project to be all about. Like, let's get together, and I want people to make music, and I want people to make like the early days, right? Like Mathelen was making like custom thugs for people, like lowriders. The I don't know. Dagan made those the thugs, those fat ones, whatever they were called.
oh, you need to talk about
Uh,
like the bodies and all and everything with them.
yeah. The ones with the bodies. It's like those are the days, dude. People were making like rap tracks like out of
Enjoying it.
enjoyment, dude. I want that to come back, and I want like I think that's what ThugBirdz kind of has always been about, and like I think with a good implementation of like label and like connecting it to the right people in uh industry in Los Angeles and like throughout the rest of the pop kind of community in the States is definitely the way to go. It's gonna be really cool. Like I'm super excited about that. So once we get through, like this initial growth or like growing period or like reorganization and restructuring and set up like the label stuff, we're going like I'll be spending a lot of time on that probably, which was originally not my idea. I was like gonna try and give it to, or I wanted to just give it to people in the community to run. It's clear that this idea kind of needs a lot of resources behind it
Right.
and a lot of time, and it really could be the thing that makes this project super, super valuable if you pull it off right. Right. So, yeah, definitely coming up.
No, it's good to hear. At least still thinking about that. Next one. I mean, kind of see it. I guess he's talking about transparency, which you've said before. You know, you can try to make things more and more transparent. So I don't want to keep going over like the same stuffs. And people in
Yeah.
chat as well, you can comment in there, see what if you got any extra questions. But I mean, of course, there's a lot in there. So what we got here? I mean, yeah, I guess over the promising with the airdrop
Airdrops.
stuff like that. Where will we have airdrops? Are airdrops coming, or is that just a thing that you were thinking at the time? Quick, I guess,
Yeah.
still in the process, or are airdrops a thing with ThugBirdz still?
Yeah, I mean, there was an airdrop like a week ago.
Shout out Pink.
Yeah, shout out Pink. And there's like, we got, like Pinag, I've spoken to him, Young Hataro, spoken to them, like the classics, and like, I've spoken to John Lee about something really cool. But people are busy and like people are doing their thing, and I'm also busy. I was doing the airdrops. I This is like the airdrop script. Like I was the one doing them, and um, I know I'm kind of getting pulled in like 50 different directions. So yeah, like we just needed organize like someone to do the airdrops for me, and like the artist to automatically submit to them. It's like 99% of our problems is like uh, people either like coming through me or having to like interact with me to get to someone else. It's just like not organized in a way that's scalable. It's it works in an initial stage of a project. But yeah, that's what we like have been working on is this whole structuring and stuff. So yeah, I agree.
Next one, you got a little bigger
Oh,
one.
okay. When it comes to reality, to be better, you have to check out your predecessors and try to better through innovation. Stand for culture, and culture basically means way of life. I've been taught from elementary school. This means, yeah, yo, this is long.
Yeah, let's see if I can just get the.
Okay. ThugBirdz should be an elite club that makes one feel you've cheated the club for coming in cheap no matter how high. Yeah.
I think she's. All right, see if she maybe just. I was talking about the brand, making sure I guess ThugBirdz don't get overpassed, which you've kind of already mentioned on that. Yeah, so that we got some of the tokenomics on some of that stuff because some of the since like the tokenomics, like you said, like it's not a thing that I guess you're hugely want to be coming out, but I'm assuming that's what it is. He's trying to make sure that we don't get forgot about, which I don't think we are. But unless you got something else from
Yeah, I think
that,
he's
that's what
just
I
got
got.
like a whole bunch of like suggestions. So, I mean, I read all of them and I agree with all of them. So,
That.
thanks, Ashita.
Let's see here with the next one. Kind of any reading or burning for the near future. Sure, you talk about that on Spaces. Marketing plans. I guess you need.
I can tell you no breeding.
Heard that. Fuck breeding.
In terms of burning, we're not going to be burning ThugBirdz supply, but there is like burn mechanisms into the token. So, yeah, not burning ThugBirdz, not breeding ThugBirdz, no.
Heard that. The next one, I guess, is people just want you to be more engaged. Which shout out because you're already doing it right now. But I guess.
Dude, I'm pretty active on Twitter, and like everyone who hits me up on DMs and you have a ThugBird, I respond. So hit me up, but I will be more engaged. Uh, I don't know if that's referring to the ThugBird's Twitter account or my personal account, but yeah, if I'm not engaged, it's like I'm trying to do stuff. Uh, if I'm on Twitter a lot, like I'm on Twitter, like I'm on Spaces, I'm interacting with people, I'm like, so. I know it's just been a bit of a busy period, but I'm settling down.
You're a
So
working
yeah.
man. But
Yeah.
no, I heard that. People can express how they want on that. Next one, you kind of answered as well. Who's officially on the ThugBird team on their roles, both
Yeah,
community and
we've
paid
done that.
roles. Went through
Yeah.
that. I guess project funds, where they've been used and invested in. Can you speak on anything on that, or is it kind of like you said? I think you got them out of the stable at that top high 250, and then some are still in Solana, just sitting there, I guess, in the validator.
Yeah, it's
Um,
just in the validator and like the operational, like, paying the team who are working, they get well compensated. Um, and like the moderators and stuff, the OG ones, like they got compensated. Um, it's essentially just like whatever needs to be paid, like whatever costs money, we just like
gotta
use
pay.
the money to pay for it. Things the merch, like the free hoodies, there was like a lot of money. So a lot of the money went into that. And the royalties are still coming in, so like that's just being actively like put back into, I'm not no, it's not really even practical to take any money like off chain in terms of tax. Like, all of this stuff is kind of a mess. So it's like only being used within the ecosystem to get like stuff done that we need to get done. So yeah.
So that next one's kind of what you've already said before. They kind of just matter with the communications.
Yeah.
Just saying it, unfortunately, been sloppy and things like that. So you said you're gonna be working on that one. Can you, I guess, say any plans on the improvement, like how you plan to improvement on that one? I guess
Yeah.
how would you do that?
So communications team, I'm getting one. Like I'm getting people to write us a fucking announcement every day and I can just talk to them and they can put a whole announcement in. And this would be a cool thing to do with one of like our community groups. Like we can have one of the DAO subgroups be like part of the communications team, and they can talk to the rest of the group and me, and we can all figure out what needs to be communicated and how does that get communicated in a professional way. Um,
No, makes
yeah.
sense. Heard
I
that.
agree. This is the number one thing that I've learned over the last 24 hours, and that's just like simply communication and transparency need to be improved, and that is like my immediate focus. Even like Red is it's like essentially taken care of. So like my right now is just like all about the organization and getting like the communication and these types of things, these small trivial kind of things just in place.
Heard that. And then, yeah, man, I think like you said, the little things will make a lot of people more happy. I don't think people are overall mad, but at least I'm not. I'm not gonna speak for everyone. But yeah, I mean, next one with it on there. Kind of already mentioned before with the short terms, 1 to 2 months, 6 months goals. We've talked about that, so I don't want to have to explain it all again.
Okay.
A release of an official roadmap. You kind of mentioned that as well. We don't want an official roadmap. It's more of a, like you said, the once a month, I guess, what announcements, and then kind of the weekly ones on the Mondays. So I know we've mentioned that one there. What we got there? How ThugBirdz community be more involved in giving back? What's your favorite fruit? Okay, you're gonna have to answer that one. And then when ThugBird Music Festival?
Okay. How can the ThugBirdz community be more involved and give back? Well, here's the beauty about NFTs is like you can build your own thing on top of ThugBirdz. That's what like you've done, Gaddis. You are the perfect example for everyone. It's like you take like after mint, you just hit me up like, yo, dude, can I do this? And I'm like, yes. And then you do it, dude. And you're on episode 60 and you're like
Whoa, whoa,
killing
whoa,
it, dude.
whoa, 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 whoa. Episode 75 now. Come on, son.
What?
He gonna belittle me like, no, I'm just joking. 75
Damn,
in the mix, big baby.
baby. Yeah, that's sick, dude. Congratulations, and it's like a great example for everyone. Like this is an open space. It's Web3. It's like permissionless. You can do whatever the hell you want with your ThugBirdz fellow thugs, you know. Like,
um,
but that being said, I do want to like as part of this like DAO setup. that's gonna be like more officially a DAO. Out of that, we could just have the initiatives already like listed, like things that need to be done, and then we could have people like participating or like contributing to that, and then you get rewarded in some way. Maybe we give you some utility tokens for your efforts, and you can go do whatever you want with that, like go buy one-of-one art or buy merchandise or whatever with that as that ecosystem develops. Yeah.
What your favorite fruit? I'm glad someone asked a random question.
My favorite fruit. Oh yeah. I love all fruits. I'll give you a top three.
Okay.
I really like. I really love blueberries.
Okay.
I really love. Clementines? Do you have
Yeah, it's
these
like
in
the little
America?
oranges, the very
Yeah,
small
yeah,
oranges.
yeah.
Yep,
Oh, I
yep.
love those. I'm addicted. And then, um, do you know lychees? Like lychees, I guess some people pronounce it like that. Like this
What is it?
tropical fruit we have back home. It's like really good. I can eat like a whole box of them, and they're like this big. It's just like a tropical thing. It's really good.
And it's
Yeah,
a
those are
fruit.
my
It's not a candy. It's like a fruit.
yeah, lychee, dude.
Lychee. Okay.
Litchi
No,
or
I have to try it sometimes.
Lychee. Yeah, they got two different spellings of the same fruit, but yeah, those are my good fruits. Pineapple,
I
also
like
good.
that. Okay.
And
The
ThugBirdz Music Festival. Yeah, like eventually, but nah, not soon. Take it step at a time.
step at a time. Heard that. Uh, we go with the next one. Ongoing interaction with the honorary rappers. How has that been? Are they cut off when then the other community people left, or what's up with the other rappers?
Did all those get cut off when past thugs left the community? I don't really like. I kind of directly interacted with all the um all the artists that got honoraries, like not directly with them, but with their teams and stuff. So um, I don't know who would leave the community. I would stop interactions with them. I guess yeah, there was some guys like Blake, Jordy, like Chaka. There's guys that are connected in the hip hop space that like um provide like introductions and stuff to these rappers, and that's been great. But like in LA, where I was at, and the people I've got a really close connection with, it's like
Like you said before,
the
it's
industry.
you was basically talking to them, right? Because I think they were basically asking like if you knew the money left or someone else left, did the rappers go with them? But it's you were for the most part, I guess, talking to them or the teams, like you said, correct?
Oh
So
yeah,
I guess they
yeah,
physically wanted to leave. They're probably still around here. I'm assuming, which
yeah, yeah.
I'm
No,
assuming I think everyone still is. So shout out to all the rappers.
yeah.
Next one, because again, I don't want to kill your time on that one. Of course, I want to make sure everything's answered, but I know because I went through them before we went live. A lot of them are the
Yeah.
same questions, just different way answered. ThugBirdz gonna be the next Supreme. The Louis Vuitton, the Off White. I'm sure that's the
Oh,
goal,
motherfucking
but
call. Stay on your grind. Shout out iceberg. Yes, we're gonna try be the next Supreme, dude. The Web3 Supreme. That'd be
um,
cool.
yeah, we go with the next one. We got. Please, can you provide a breakdown of who's on the team, what they do, full time
Yeah.
job? Answer that one. Thug Libel's being a huge stretch. You're moving to LA for ThugBirdz and Thug
Yeah.
Label, so you've mentioned that one. Mentioned
Big
a little bit
stretch,
about
but taking it seriously. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that as well because I know a lot of people are hyped with that. You mentioned stuff about the Hatch Labs already. What happened with the bread delay? You mentioned that. You love 2222. Communication could be better. Who's on the team? We've entered that one. Funding, future vision of the DAO. You spoke about that one as
I
well.
can answer that. I can answer
Oh,
that.
okay,
So
okay. What we got?
it's like okay, what like we got a DAO, but it's like what is the DAO gonna do? Um, and because it's like I don't want I don't necessarily want the DAO to be doing like the merchandise or like the streetwear collection or um the like the label. As we know, these things are like you need like a team running it like a business. DAOs are really tough to run like that, and so you kind of have to set expectations for what a DAO is actually capable of achieving. And so right now, a DAO doesn't do anything. So it's kind of like you kind of just have to give the DAO something really small but like impactful to do at first, and the DAO can iterate on that. And so my initial thoughts on that was like, let's make the DAO all about one-on-one art and like how do we support that ecosystem? Because it's kind of we want to be the kindest community on Solana, and we already have the cultural and artistic uh, like vision around the brand. And so like, how do we get the DAO to like effectively contribute and add value to the one-on-one art ecosystem and stimulate that market? So I think that's a good place to start. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the DAO in terms of development. Is like different things that I think should be handled by the core development team. Yeah, more effectively done that way.
Heard that. We got here, I guess, deadline for the website. Any update on that one? Uh,
I've learned from experience, right? I'm reluctant for an update on specific deadlines. What I can say is soon, like we part of the website is to not just throw a randomly designed thing out there. It should really be part of a coherent branding like thing, right? Like you need to set the whole standard for what the whole brand's going to be, and that includes doing a lot of like like branding stuff, like making a brand book and basing like all sorts of themes and values and all these things in it. And website can really be good if you take some time to align it with the whole revamp of this brand. So yeah, I mean, I know it's frustrating, but it's like, listen, we're working on a bunch of different things, and like the website in the grand scheme is not going to do anything to the project in the short term. Uh, and so I agree. There's like we've been neglecting the very short term things or like thinking about the long term risks and like strategy. So yeah, like I'll get everything moving quicker on that stuff. Yeah, I'm not gonna be giving any more like specific dates. But what I can say is that I'm like trying to get it out as quick as possible because I just want to get stuff that's been working on just out of the door. Yeah. How
heard
much
that.
except how much additional SOL do we need to reach validated profitability? So I think our threshold is like 120,000 SOL that we need to be reaching. Right now we're not there yet. We're at like 90,000, I think. Um, community campaign, we could do that. We could. I thought about this. We could raise money to put in the validator, but I don't know if people would really want to be into that. Like, I don't want to take people's money. Just stake Solana in the ThugDAO validator if you have, and we should be incentivizing people to do this. So maybe think of some cool ways with bread to reward staking in the validator.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Um, royalty plans. What we got here? What are they used for? Going to be used for? I don't know what that
Uh,
is, or
royalty plans, what are they used for slash going to be used for? Well, they're used for like paying for running this thing, and that what isn't used just stays behind. So that's what it's being used for.
Heard that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can read. Why did you report Thug Finance Twitter without waiting for a response from the team? Would you be open to receiving the team's white paper?
I mean, Thug Finance is just this random Twitter account. It's like they don't even hit me up and be like, "Yo, like I'm taking your like logo and trying to present myself as like officially looking like your brand and like, and I do this." It's like, no, you can't do that. The people
It's the
think it's
proper
like an
way to do
official
it.
thing. Like, dude, just fucking reach out if you have a Thug Finance idea. Or if you have a finance idea, call it something else, but don't piggyback off of our community and try and ride your own wave. Like, not cool. So I'm
Heard that.
probably like receiving their white paper. Maybe I'll, if they approach it in a better way, like we'll take a look and see if it's something. Like let the DAO do their idea. Give the DAO the white paper
The
and say,
choice.
oh, it's now ours. Steal their shit. Rug them.
The rugged.
But I'm just joking. I don't know what Thug Finance is, and it's not officially associated with us at all.
Heard that.
Can
Answers the
can
question.
they do things exactly as what you have promised?
That's hard
Yes,
for
I will.
anyone, but you know what I mean.
I'm gonna. It is hard, but I'm gonna stop just promising in general. Just like stop just like the dates, stop the announcements, stop like announcing announcements. This is something that's just kind of in my nature. I just want everyone to be like, hey, be sure that like things are okay. Okay, um, and like a good view on what's going down in this project. So um, things are okay. That's why I like just want to make sure people are even before things are ready to be like shipped and showed to people. I enjoy like telling people what's about to come, and then that leads to disappointment when things inevitably get moved around or delayed or whatever. But yeah, I will aim to do exactly as I have promised. I always try to do that, and sometimes I fall short, but uh, it's just like, I'm sorry, I fall short. We all fall short. As
That's
long as we
life.
keep showing up and trying to make it better, I guess.
Nah, for
Yeah.
sure. What we got here? What are you working on? Always involve boards more on what's going on. I don't know, I guess exactly what they mean on that one, but
Eyes are getting sore.
the alpha, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Solana. Get the hate
Lana,
emojis.
hopefully the shades pulls us out of this giga
You got like
dip
a
that we're
billion
going
dollars
through.
on right. You got some Solana glasses. You got some Sino Global shirt. You probably got some ThugBirdz underwear on right now. You rocking hard right now, bro.
Dude,
Um, what we got
like good
here?
underwear.
some good old school tidy whities, bro. Um, what we got here? Some of the next ones, some of the same stuff. How many people are working on them full time? The ThugBirdz. Enter that one. Which projects, roadmap parts are actively worked on? I.e., Thug Label. Other things from the earlier days seem to fail. And we've kind of already mentioned the Thug Label, still working on that. Again, the Hatch Labs. Um,
Here's the thing, dude. It's like, let's say we put things on the roadmap, and they just do not get like um don't get executed, or for some reason things do not happen. It's like that idea isn't dead or doesn't go away. Like we can always just try again or try more ideas. There's infinite ways to build different stuff around this. So that to me is just like you can think about new ideas, like build like something. If you want to make ThugBirdz great, like actively do something. Don't just like pick the dead like efforts of previous. Although like of course we want to say we're gonna do stuff and follow through on it. I understand that comment and frustration. Yeah, I mean, I think nothing's dead. Like you can revive anything as long as keep going, like we can all of these ideas that we have and stuff that we want to implement, we can put into existence very easily. Like just needs it's active like engagement from everyone involved.
No, it makes sense. I'm sure everyone believes that one as well. Because a little bit of love goes a long ways. Uh, what we got on here? Communication so bad. You've already apologized on that one, and you're gonna say you're gonna try to make it better. Um, I can't speak on the other managers, but I'm sure just like you, like everyone else is super ass busy as well. So
No, like the thing with Dizzy, so Dizzy's been really sick. He's he had a long bout with COVID in January. I think he had long COVID, and now he's got like some serious like infection in his ear that he's
yeah,
like his eardrum nearly burst and shit. So Dizzy is like going through, but he's being a champion. He's like powering through it and still. Um, I gave him. I was like, dude, take care of your health, bro. Like, take time off. And he was like, no, like I'm still here. I want to add to stuff. So Dizzy is great. But yeah,
no, shout out Dizzy.
I
Hopefully
think
getting better, big dog.
communications. Why are they so bad? I agree. As we said, it's like the number one theme of this. Communications are bad. Message received. It's just like actively being fixed.
Heard that. Kind of same question on the next one about announcement and stuff like that for the changes. We got here. I mean, do you feel like ThugBirdz been overpromised and underdelivered?
Should overpromise and underdeliver for sure, right? On certain things, but I believe on certain things we also underpromised and overdelivered.
Yeah.
So it's just like certain things get done well. Uh, like those one-of-one art drops, or not the one-of-ones, but like um the the drops we did last year. They were like huge success, and like people loved them. They're coming back, and like we also want to do it in a cool way where it's just not just like sitting in your wallet and just we want to drop stuff of value to people. They can trade. So yeah, it's just like yeah, I think I would agree with that sentiment. That has been in general like the trend. It's like sometimes we overpromise and underdeliver, but now, as I've said earlier, it's just like no more promising anything, no more overpromising. It's just like we give you what's up for the next month. We're not going to promise you Thug label is going to be done in 6 months or 1 year because maybe it's going to take 3 or 4 years to build. Maybe the time's not right now. Maybe you get legal advice. Like this is not going to work. Oh, whatever. Like, inevitably things change, and so like we'd ideally want to underpromise and overdeliver. Um, and
Makes
that's
sense.
also part of this like part of again like the new way of running ThugBirdz.
Um, Next question. I mean, quick, you kind of answered on some of it beforehand as well. What would you say Thug Dow is a real Dow? Why not?
No,
Um,
not
Heard that.
a real DAO at all. It's
On a
not
quick answer on
decentralized.
boom.
It's not
Heard that.
autonomous. Uh,
Heard
it's
that.
like yeah, it's just like a gated Discord, right? But that's that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think a lot of when ThugDAO was started, a lot of their infrastructure and stuff was not even there in place to like do even multi-sig or on-chain voting and stuff. It's like it's not a big deal if we wait 6 months for the tooling and stuff to improve. Like realms and stuff these days is like super good, and treasury streaming and wallet multi-sigs and all this stuff's getting a lot easier. So I don't think necessarily the formation of like, and to be honest, I think most people in terms of a DAO, it's like I don't know how many people are actively, going to be voting on decisions and how much they even want to be like in control of a thing like this. Because yeah, it's work, man. It is a lot of work. So you really have to be super passionate to continue doing it after a long period of time. If you just like DAO contributor, it's kind of a flimsy thing, as I said. So, um,
I heard that.
yeah, converting it into a real DAO, but still trying to maintain some level of like uh order out of uh, some DAOs can be considered chaotic. But I agree. Like, the concept of a DAO is really tricky, man. It's like I really want them to work, but I don't know how decentralized they will always be. But yeah, I guess the mission is initially like this organization was extremely centralized, and it's slowly starting to like control is starting to kind of spread to more people, and we want to really push that hard and get the whole community into like um, actively like be working on stuff.
Heard that one. Last couple ones because we were having a Joe Rogan episode where 2 hours and 15 minutes, so we were making it go on there. But I know we're getting close to it, and again, I mean, for people that are tuning in, one shout out to y'all as well. I wanted to keep it as live as possible instead of just writing all the questions down in this one because people can always be like, oh, you did this. No, it's just hey. Live and direct, no BS cutting anything like that. So shout out to
Yeah,
everyone out
yeah.
there and
Shout out for listening.
just
If you're
cause.
listening, shout out. You care.
Um,
That means you care.
for sure, for sure. ThugBirdz a registered company slash brand. I guess yes or no. Where is that being worked on?
Actively
Boom, heard that. How
cooperating.
are royalties being used? We've answered that one before. Like it's kind of, I guess it's being used for how everything you're doing. Um, what did the OGs lose faith in the thugs? I'll answer that because well, I guess I don't have a purple shade, but I still call myself an OG because I mint
Yeah.
that button at 3. I don't think
Amen to
so.
the you're an
You
OG.
know what I mean? So, caw.
80% of the OGs have never fucking sold.
That's the thing. Yeah, yeah. You can actually look at the stats on that one. So
People who
that's
got their people who,
a
yeah,
fact.
like the age, the bar of like OG status is the biggest bar. It's 80% of the people, and then the other ones are like the rest.
Super
I
on
would
that.
say I don't know. As long as that remains, um, as long as you keep that number up.
It'd be super
Yeah, for
strong.
sure. Some people leave a community, right? Like early members, and I've seen that. And it's really sad to see, man. I want everyone to be like part of the whole journey, but I can understand. Um, there's opportunity costs and stuff in the short term. However, long term, I think yeah, if you're an OG and you really believe in this and you believe in uh, contributing, and like seeing a thing through, I think that's also pretty cool. So if you're an OG that's still around, shout out. Thanks
Shout
for
out.
thanks for the patience and like it's not financial advice at all, but it's just like I think it's gonna be a lot better going into the future. At least just from as we've been talking about all night, like structurally and organizationally.
No, heard that. I don't know who wrote this one, but it says who is in charge of ThugBirdz? Head of birds? Question mark. OX Thug.
Yes.
Yes, the yes on that one. Tron benefits for the shades. I guess I'll answer that one on the sense of yes, in the essence of staking because of the shades. Once staking comes out, and that's going to be more details of for tomorrow. Correct?
Well, not all the details tomorrow, just like we're
Some
announcing,
heard.
it'll make more sense tomorrow. But yeah, in terms of you have Tron shades. That's like really cool on its own. So
Tron
I think
boss
you
stuff.
should be happy with your Tron shades if you got some.
Um,
Oh,
I mean,
man.
you know what I mean. Some of them, I'm sure, are the same stuff. Exact organization, the hierarchy, how many staff members, roles. Mentioned that staff who is doxed, who is not. What is the level of doxed? I mean, I guess
Okay. Who's doxed? I guess I've never seen what Huntsley looks like. I've never seen what Weird City looks like. I've seen what I'm pretty sure Dizzy is doxed. At least I've seen what he looks like. I've met Chico. He's a real person. And he's doxed. I guess I'm doxed. Who else? Nah, I don't think anyone else is really doxed. I don't expect people to be doxed. I feel like whole doxing thing is kind of people are like wanting to prevent rugs. Firstly, it doesn't work. Like doxed people rug people in real life all the time. Secondly, it's clear that we're not a rug, bro. Like if I wanted to rug this, like if we wanted to rug this thing, we would have rugged it a long time ago.
It would have been gone,
So
gone.
like eating through the chewing the glass or whatever, just like fixing shit because it needs to be fixed, and that's just like, yeah,
Chewing
not
glass.
gonna
There
not
we
gonna
go.
go anywhere. Not gonna go anywhere.
I
Gets
think some of the
paid.
next ones, yeah, are kind of some of the same stuff. Who's getting paid? If so, where, or I guess how much? Where did the costs come from? Um, Pretty sure you mentioned already
Uh,
who paid on there. Yeah,
yeah.
it's the breakdown. Um,
Where do these costs come from? I'm so assuming they mean like costs come from people needing to get paid, but the funds come from the royalties.
let
Pay
me
the
see
people. Yeah.
here. People want the wallet address for the treasury and it contains. I guess that's what you were talking about with the streaming stuff. Some of that, I guess we as in like um
Yeah.
ThugBirdz. I guess ThugBirdz is gonna be kind of working with it. Is that correct? So people would be more I guess transparent. They can see that stuff whenever that comes out. Is that overall
Yeah,
correct?
so if there's
Okay.
a like once the DAO treasury forms and obviously there will be clear treasury and like it'll all be very transparent for people. But right now
Heard that.
the way it's being run is like it's not a DAO with a treasury. So that information is kind of just like you know, on our side of things. I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, I'm transparent about it. I'm an honest guy. I'm not doing anything bad with it. In fact, it's just like being saved just to like further invest into the project, and eventually we'll be investing in other ways, like with real US dollars and stuff into the brand, and so yeah, like
Heard that.
yeah,
Yeah, a lot of these are a lot of the same ones. How do you set up the validator? How much did it cost? What are the return dates? What we got here? I mean, you
there's no returns. It's not profitable. We're making a loss on it still, so we need to get more people to stake. It's not a big loss, but it's just like yeah, validators require a lot of soul to be profitable, especially since we put our commission at 5%, which is far lower. So it really lowers that threshold. I mean, increases the threshold of profitability. But like I want to do what's best for the community. Long term, it's only been a couple of months since the validator's been up. So over time, we've already put 90,000 soul in. To me, that's pretty impressive, dude. 90,000 soul. It's like one of the biggest NFT validators out there, I think. And the monkeys are being sold in to us, and it's like amazing to see the like cross collaboration. So yeah, like that to me, that's like cool utility. Like validator is cool. Um, you know,
uh,
not
you're
not
going
many
through
projects set that up. Yeah,
through the most of them are kind of the same stuff we've already seen.
yeah.
What's the marketing plan? What's up at Thug Label? Do you need help? Question mark.
I
um,
do need help. I do need help. In many ways.
with I'm trying to think of the other ones because you can kind of see. I mean, it's all about the same stuff. If you have some questions, I'm gonna say we're gonna wrap it up here soonish because correct me if I'm wrong. You flying out tomorrow? Is that correct? From your Twitter spaces, I've been reading and stuff, or you walking over
Yeah.
there? Like how? When's the plane go?
No, so like for the next 48 hours, I'm gonna kind of be traveling. I won't be available after that. Like Saturday morning US time, I should be back online, and I'll be doing work like while I'm out. be talking to people. Like, if I have connectivity, usually like traveling, you can get like signal and stuff, like Wi-Fi and stuff. You can continue working. So I should be able to get online every now and then. But I'm also maybe just gonna use this time to just sleep a bit. It's been like a
Relax.
fucking rough 6 weeks, to be honest. Just being on the road while trying to keep this stuff on track. It's really tough, man. It's really tough to stay productive when you're like actively traveling around and attending all these hacker houses and trying to put many different things together. So I think I might just take like travel time off and then tackle things on Saturday again. But yeah, I'll keep everyone updated about that.
Heard that.
Yeah.
I guess I mean kind of. I guess last. I mean, we can do some of the last kind of closing comments and stuff. I mean, we can kind of, I guess, go through them all. It's people asking again, what was bread? Are there deflationary mechanics of bread? Um,
Yes.
Heard
The
that.
mechanisms will be implemented, of course.
See on here. Trying to see no one else has anything in chat. What I guess closing points from you that I guess you want the community to know. You know what I mean? Because we've talked a lot, kind of just went through a lot of things in general. So I guess on you, like what do you want the community to know on I guess on your end, and what do you hype about?
Okay. So what do I want the community to know from my end? Or what am I like excited about, or just like, are you saying just like final thoughts at the end of
Everything,
the
everything.
conversation?
Yeah. I mean, one. I mean, if you can say like what you're excited on, just in general, and then yeah, I mean, any, I guess, final thoughts. Yeah. Or if not,
Yeah,
again,
well,
all
I'm
good. But
I'm excited about literally everything, dude. Everything about this project. That's why today, even the FUD, like me, I'm like I kind of enjoy like talking to everyone. 'Cause it's like I don't do it often enough as I used to anymore. Obviously, things change. Um, but my overall vision of this project, from my perspective, is like amazingly. I'm really super positive about it, and that's why I'm kind of putting like a lot of eggs in this one basket, right? And I'm not like I'm not trying to extract from, like grab cash or any of these things that we see going down in the ecosystem. I'm like, believe I'm here for good reasons, and the rest of the team is as well, and the community is as well. Like we're all here for a good reason. So I'm just excited about like everything, uh, like coming together essentially. And it's a process, and it's like head bumping. And even if in the future we have more days like this, where it's just like fighting fires or like fixing things, but at least things are happening, right? And it shows like passion and active interaction from the community. It's just all good signs. Even 6 months in, to have so many people even coming in to say negative shit is like a good sign, right? Like,
they're still
um,
talking. They're still
they're
talking. You
still
know.
talking, dude. Like they're still in the Discord, and they were still kicking, dude. And in this NFT space, it's like really tough to maintain that. So we're doing a good job. We just got to stay in much better communication, and I'm like obviously trying. I'll try much harder and get like proper communications sorted out. And yeah,
Awesome.
I'm just excited. Yeah, I'm very excited to be just putting like a lot of like a lot of these plans into reality.
Well, I know a lot of us are excited, and of course, you know, rooting for you and us. The Thugbird. So, um, I mean, if you want to, I guess, answer a couple more. I mean, if again, I was kind of going through them on here. They're kind of the same for the most part on who's the team, everything like that. But um, yeah, I mean, I guess if you don't mind, kind of like you were saying beforehand, shoot, you might not have to listen to the whole thing, but I mean, you have all the questions and everything as well. I might kind of go
Yes,
through
this is
it.
important. This is important. Like even that maybe we skipped some questions today, and I will check through the list. This is a better idea. Like I'm gonna check through all these questions, find out which just quickly make delete all the ones that get repeated. Just have all the
Yep.
unique questions, and I can do just like a quick write up of everything and give it to a communications team or whatever people to write out an announcement because then people can just read this or they can listen to this podcast, which
No,
will
I can
save
do
us
that
some
for you.
time.
Just because, yeah. I mean, kind of like I said, I mean, you know, because I was talking to you when I was working. I was literally working today, and it was like, you know what? Let me get all the questions so we can just go random like that. But yeah, like you said, I think it'll be a lot easier so you can go see what is not fucking duplicated 600 times and then get everything nice, easy, and clean cut. So, um,
Yeah,
sounds like a plan. Um, on that one, man, I want to say thank you for coming on, taking some time out of your evening. The good 2, I think, and a half hours. So again, it was
yeah,
a longer one, you know, but hopefully people at least see that you're about it. You're here, you're showing up, and you're not just doing random ass shit. You know what I mean? So shout out
yeah,
to you
man.
for that one.
Shout out to you. Thank you for making time. I know it's late where you are. Thank you for staying up this late and doing this quickly. Like, a lot of questions were raised today, and I thought it was important to address this before I went traveling. Because if we just left this open-ended for 4 more days, I would have uh, evolved into chaos. Like, so yeah. Hope everyone can just hold it down for the next 2 days. Like I'll be trying to stay in touch, but like, yeah, just. Thank you for setting it up, Gaddis. I'll be going through the rest of the questions as you know, if there are any that we missed today it's because of time or we overlooked them. Really, we tried our best to get to everything. It's been a while. It's been a long time. I'm pretty tired. So yeah, I can get to those questions that were skipped. Just let me know if there are any. Hit me up.
Sounds
Always just
good.
like I'm ready to talk. Usually when it's FUD, and I'm like DM me and someone DMs me and I have a conversation with them. It's like the FUD just goes away. The fear goes away because ultimately the fear is of like that there's nothing happening and there is, but it's just like hard to convey that to a big audience of people. On an individual basis, if it's like someone I trust, I can speak to them and just be like, yeah, this is what is like actually going down and like what's being worked on and like kind of like we've been talking now. I feel like that's been missing and uh it shouldn't be missing. And like that information asymmetry is what's causing all this short term like
Just stuff, the hiccups.
road bumps. Yeah, exactly. So
No, man.
yeah,
Again, I'm glad he came on. Hopefully next time we'll have it. It won't be just straight up questions of people like drilling you with everything. It'll just be just
yeah,
everyone just chilling. You know what I mean? Kind of like a Twitter space, but on the good old
exactly.
the podcast on that one. But stick around
Yeah,
for a quick second. Honestly, I'm gonna end it like how I kind of first started it. I'm just gonna have everything muted on that. But for real, man, appreciate what you're doing, and make sure you get some sleep as well sometime. But give me a quick second, and
yeah.
I'll be right back. But um, guys, once again, thank you very much for coming in, tuning in, showing some love. And you know what time it is? It is episode 75. Once again with the ThugBirdz Podcast. If you're not already, go on ahead and follow ThugBirdz, ThugBirdz, just on Twitter, and as well as ThugDAO. Until next time, y'all stay fresh, stay clean, stay positive, stay easy. And as always, y'all, let's get it.